No, so we're starting the episode like that. I don't care what you say.
So welcome back. I texted a drug dealer by accident.
For context, I'll give the short and skinny. My neighbor needed help with something. Sam's expertise is able to fix that.
Yep.
The wrong number was given, or you texted the wrong number?
I might have dyslexicked it into there because there were some 8s and 5s I got fucked up.
Yeah.
And so instead of like one combination numbers, I accidentally flipped it. And so I just texted my name, just Sam, Yeah. And then so I get a response back of 2 question marks. And then what's up? And I just said, sorry, wrong number, LOL. And they said, no problem. If you need some dro though, let me know. I deliver. So let us know what dro is, because we're out of touch. Actually, should we look it up real quick?
Let's look it up. And while you're looking that up, welcome back to the Lousy Show. I'm Joe. And this apparently is, newly addicted Sam.
I'm just going in a downward spiral.
I don't think Dro debt relief order. Ain't no way.
No.
Hydroponic.
Yeah, hydroponic, as in a hydroponically grown weed. They're male and female marijuana plants, and when you let a male put blah 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 blah, it's weed. So
you texted a drug dealer.
I got a plug now by accident, and they know my name, which is great. Well, it's just fortunately, it's just my first name, so they can't get anything too bad off of that. I'm glad it wasn't my work number. That would have been really awkward. Yeah. Ooh. Is dro really the word for it now? Like, that's
next episode. We're gonna try different strains. How does that happen? How do you just randomly text? Here's the thing. I have always in my life, I've always wanted that moment where it's like you text a wrong number, or they call or text you.
Yeah.
And it's serotonin.
Yeah.
You live for those moments where you're like, I want this to thrive.
Yeah.
You want to have a conversation. You want a novel to unfold. You're about to go find Atlantis. Mm-hmm. That's never happened.
No.
And I know this isn't Atlantis, but dog, you just...
I kind of want to respond back and just be like, bro, they call that shit dro now? Like, what the fuck?
I remember when it was called tree.
I remember we just planted it out back in the field and hope nobody ever saw it.
Police always ask about the heat lamps in my house. I said, I like to keep myself moisturized under artificial sun.
See, the thing is, from where we grew up, they just put it in like random fields or, maybe up in like an attic somewhere. Mm-hmm. And they didn't call it they didn't use any like fancy chemistry. They just fucking put the seeds in the ground.
You know why though?
Why?
It's because of how humid and hot it was where we were from.
True. Yeah. It was right for growing smokable things. I mean, it's tobacco land, so.
We are sounding sus right now.
Brother.
I would like to go on the record and say we do not partake. However, if you do partake in the 420s, it's, hey, I'm not against it. Have fun.
No, I think it's got a lot of great uses. It just doesn't work well for me.
Yeah.
So, the few times I've tried it, did not go well. I'm just getting flashbacks to you pulling my hair in the car.
to finish that statement.
No, we're leaving it right there.
What are you talking about? Oh my God.
This will be a clip.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you remember we went to former manager's house from when I started working with you at the pizza place.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we partook in some stuff, totally legal, and then got very, very messed up. Mm-hmm. I started feeling very sick, and so then we left. Oh man.
Yes.
That's one of my most loved and hated stories to tell.
Brother, we were cuddling pizzas at the end of that night. Like not in the sense of like we were enjoying some pizza. No, we were cuddling the boxes.
I woke
with
up
pizza in it.
In the box. Like the lid was on top. My head was in the pizza box. Was just pizza around me. And I'm pretty sure you ate more of my pizza. For context.
Nothing to do with this episode.
Should we just tell the story real quick? Okay. So we went, partook. I'm way fucked up and super sick. I drove. You did not have a car at that time. Yeah. And so I went up to you and I was like, hey man, I am not feeling good at all. We need to leave. And he's like, all right, but you need to drive because I'm fucked up. I was like, bro, I'm fucking in space right now. I can't. Yeah. I was like, you're definitely a lot less than I am. And he was like, that's fair.
And here's the bad part about that was I wasn't much far off from you. But we're talking like you're in the stratosphere and I'm right here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so we're on our way home. You look over at me and you're like, I'm hungry. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, but I mean, if you're gonna get some pizza, I mean, we worked at a pizza place, so we get the discount. So, and that's how we survived. Honestly, was getting discounts off that pizza.
Yes, even before you worked there, it was because of me.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But so you're like, yeah, let's get some pizzas. So you call the one that you worked at, and the manager that was working answered.
Yep.
And so for context, we lived right outside of the delivery zone of that store. Mm-hmm. And so you would always ask, since you didn't have a car, you'd always ask to see if they could send a driver and you tip them a little bit extra. Mm-hmm. You thought you were at home when you called. So you called and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it again. And so if you could send a driver, I was like, bro, you're fucking driving right now.
and I remember going, oh, yeah.
Never mind.
I'll just come get it. But they're listening to this whole conversation. And I remember her asking, going, are you okay? And I was like, nah.
So you asked me, like, what do you want? I was like, I just want a pepperoni pizza. Like, the last thing I could think about was food. But at the same time, I was kind of hungry. Like, it was.
Yo, I do remember this. Shout out to them, though. I remember her. She was a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She knew what was up. We ordered a pizza each. We walked away from that place dining like kings.
You did not order just a pizza. I remember this part vividly.
I don't.
Because every word you said made me sicker and sicker. Because you're like, I think just a pizza. You know what, actually, let me get an apple pie too. Actually, you know what, let me get some breadsticks too. And then so by the time you walked out.
Those G-Parm sticks, fuck though.
Yeah, they really do, honestly.
That just doxed where I was working at the time.
I mean, you've said it on here before.
That's fair.
But so anyway, you walk out. And so like we get there.
Let's hold on. Pause that thought. Let's be realistic here. Anybody who works at a pizza place, 90% of them, they're partaking.
Oh,
like don't even front.
It's usually the manager's a drug dealer.
Yeah, actually.
So anyway, we park up. I'm like, I'm staying in here because I'm dying. I'm about to puke at this point. Like I'm not feeling good at all.
Yeah.
And so you go in there. You're chatting it up in there because it feels like you took at least forever. Like I don't know if it actually was or not because I don't know where I was in time and space at that moment, but it felt like forever. And so you finally come out with a fucking Mount Everest of fucking pizza boxes. And then you have me hold them naturally because you're driving, but then at the same time, the smell of it was not good for me. And then you finally at this point grow conscious. You're like, let me know if you need a puke or anything. And so we get
out of the parking lot.
I'm like, all right, I got to puke. And so you start pulling over into somebody's yard. And I'm like, bro, I'm not.
No, it wasn't somebody's yard. It was a gated community.
I haven't gotten there yet. That was the last place you parked where I finally puked. Well. So you had started pulling over just into somebody's yard, like ran over the curb and everything. And so I'm like, bro, I'm not puking in somebody's yard. So then you pull. It was like a 2-lane road, but with like a turning lane in the middle.
Yeah.
So you pull in the median. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna get fucking decapitated over here. And so you finally pull in. It's a gated community. I'm like, fuck it, I can't hold it anymore. I open the door. I'm starting to puke. This motherfucker reaches over, and instead of like checking on me or anything, he grabs the pizzas and starts fucking shoveling pizzas into his face. And then on top of that, realizes the comedy of the situation and starts laughing his ass off as he's shoveling an apple pie into his fucking gullet. And then he's like, wait, my best friend is down in the dumps right now. So at the time I had long hair and it was in a ponytail. That's where the pulling the hair part came from. So he grabs my ponytail to try to like make sure I'm not puking on myself. I'm doing fine, by the way. Not a drop spilled in the car. But then he just yanks my fucking ponytail. So I'm just like, So I puke my fucking guts up.
Oh my God.
Finish up. We get home.
Oh God.
I go straight to bed with my pizza. I think I ate a slice, and then I woke up with like 6 slices missing, and I was in the box.
I'm living these flashbacks right now. And
You're such a great friend.
I was a dick. I'm so sorry.
Again, to be fair, we were beyond the Milky Way at that point.
I remember getting home. So mind you, let's explain our living conditions at the time. So when we were in an apartment, our very first apartment, and it was a 2-bedroom apartment that 3 of us lived in. Now, specifically, I would like to say the third roommate, he like the living room was so large, he like basically got little like dividers and made his own little room.
Yeah.
But at this time, we had six of us living there. There was us 3, and then 3 others we acquired over time.
Yeah. Just kind of, the band of misfits.
Yeah.
You know?
And you and I, as bad as this sounds, we're the smart ones of the house. The more, I guess you could say, well put together, never really breaking rules or anything. And we come home gassed. And I remember this. I remember walking in, and you immediately, like, you had your hood up.
Oh,
You're
I
just,
was, yeah.
and you just beeline for your bedroom. And so to give context, when you walked into our apartment, there was this long walkway that opened up into a big living room. And then it was like the rest of the apartment was to your right. And everyone was in their living room, and they see us walk in, and they're like, "Where have y'all been?" You beeline to your bedroom. Me, Mount Everest of pizza boxes. I come up, and I just remember just turning, stopping, going. And I just got, why did you do that? Why would you do that?
I had a moment of anxiety. I'm sorry.
And I remember like staring at them like this. And they go, "Are you?" And I went, and just, for some reason, I do vividly remember this. I giggled, looked down, nudged the apple pie box open with my nose, grabbed a piece of it, started chewing and walking to your bedroom.
Tell me you're on another plane of existence without telling me you're on another plane of existence.
And then I remember I was sitting in your floor, you're in your bed, and I was trying to be supportive.
It didn't work.
I was
It
like,
didn't work.
"Eat, buddy, it'll be fine." And you're just.
I remember at one point, like my head. So while I was awake, before I passed out, my head is in the pizza box, and I'm like shoveling the pizza towards my mouth. Just, just kind of like trying to eat it.
And I remember I used the pizza boxes as a pillow until I want to say it was Jay or Scott. One of the two was like, "You need to go to your room." And I remember saying,
probably Scott.
I was like, "I'm too far away." They were like, "Your room's literally right here."
We shared a wall.
Yeah, we shared a wall. And I was like,
It's 4 feet away.
"I can't do it. My legs don't work." And they were like, "Nah, you got to get up, bro." I remember I was like, "Okay, but I can't leave these." And
You're so protective of the pizzas because you were moving the pizzas to get them out of the line of fire of my puke, which they weren't in.
Oh my God. I'd like to go on the record and say this has nothing to do again with today's episode.
Not at all.
You know what? I almost want to scrap this for
We
a
could,
second
honestly,
and just continue down this rabbit hole because
yeah, let's do it. we can record another one.
we will do that.
So this one's now lousy drug experiences.
Okay, well, if that's the case.
I did meth one time in a fucking bathroom. No, just kidding.
Okay, let me tell y'all. Oh man, I gotta say this one now. Greensboro.
Oh yeah. That's it. I mean, we don't have many together. It's
Yeah.
that one, the one we just mentioned, and then I think maybe one more. I think I smoked weed maybe like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I did not like any of them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say how many times. So to give context to the story, again, I would like to go on the record and say I am for anybody who is 420 friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think that there's great properties to it.
Yep.
You know, everything. So this story goes back to my music days. At the time, I was filling in as bassist for A Light Divided, which is a band still playing today.
Shout out. Yeah. They came out with a new album recently or single. It's not one of the two.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good.
Absolutely.
We should link it. Actually.
Yes. And I was filling in for them at the time because I think like something happened with their bassist where he had like some life stuff happen. Either way, I was going on a run of shows with them. So I was driving from Central Virginia to Central North Carolina pretty frequently. Yeah. And that's a hike.
It's like 3-4 hours, something like that.
Yeah. I think it's 8 hours. 8 hours round trip was most of the time where I was going. Now, this particular trip, it was me and you. It was our roommate. And then, actually, no, it was 2 of our roommates at the time.
Did they come?
Yes. Oh. Yes, because I remember we have pictures. No.
I'd say I think it was just you and I.
No, Ryan was with us. Ryan definitely was with us.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because that we were going back to pizza. We ordered the buffalo chicken pizza because somebody's sinuses were really fucking stuffed up. And
No. I'm talking of a different trip. I'm talking of the Close Your Eyes trip.
Oh, that one. Okay, I did not partake on that one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah.
No, the one you're talking about was just me and you.
Yeah.
I remember that one. No, that we didn't order the buffalo chicken pizza. That specific trip, Eric's nose was super stopped up.
Yeah,
and I said, order a cheese pizza, no sauce, double jalapeno.
Yeah.
And I said, get the buffalo sauce to add on it. And when he did, he took a bite and he was like, yeah, I can smell everything.
I can smell colors.
No, I remember that specific trip was the first time that Eric asked us, he was like, how much do y'all partake? And we were like, not much. He goes, great. Get ready to experience Jupiter. We're like, oh.
Ground control to Major Tom.
And I remember they put on Lost. And and mind you, Lost, I have never in my life been interested in that show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad show.
Yeah.
Anybody's a fan out there, not saying it's a bad show. What I am saying is I have never been interested in watching it until I was floating through the cosmos and I went, wow, this show's deep as fuck.
Why is there a fucking polar bear?
I remember you. I remember you being in there, Lazy Boy.
I was at that point, I had stopped watching the show. I was beyond Jupiter. I was way the fuck out there. And so I'm just staring. They had like a popcorn ceiling. I'm just staring at it thinking it's fucking, I'm just looking at like the fabric of existence.
From my perspective, it's so good because I just see you like, you are clearly pushing yourself more into the seat, but it looks like you're sinking into it and you're just.
I was feeling the G-forces of the rocket, my
man. and if you look at the camera, Sam's naturally looking like this. However, Sam in this moment was like this.
I have pretty naturally squinty eyes.
You do. Yeah. And so when I look over and see this, I'm like, oh shit. That was also one of the best night's sleep I've ever had. But this particular story.
Go back to the Close Your Eyes show.
Yes, this particular story, we went down to North Carolina. It was me, you, and Ryan. I want to say Aaron went with us. I want to say he did, but I don't remember.
No, we have photos from that, and Aaron was not in those photos at the very least. So, because that's when you and Ryan were up on top of the parking garage.
No, he met us down there.
Oh, that's what it was.
He met us down there because I remember he was already in North Carolina. He met us at the show and rode back with us because he ended up with us at the food later.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember that. I'll get to how I remember that in a moment. So we go to play the show. By the way, Close Your Eyes, another phenomenal band. Great show. from what I remember.
Awesome show. Yeah. I was sober. So, yeah.
Yes.
Like, I was drinking, but was I drinking?
No.
No, I was too young to drink.
At the time, we were...
No, I was drinking.
No, because at the time we were 20 at the time.
That's right. It was before 20th birthday.
Yeah. Yep. So, because that was one of the concerns for me playing with the band was how was I going to get into some of the bars.
Yeah.
So, we go to play this show, had a blast, absolute blast, blew the freaking roof off the place when it was a great time. And Eric, by the way, love Eric to death. Absolute amazing human being. Eric, I remember goes, all right, y'all, let's go have our victory hangs and whatever. And I remember the guitarist of the band that was on tour in the other band with Close Your Eyes, they were supporting, joined us. We all went to the van that the band was in. And me thinking, okay, we're just chilling and vibing. No. We passed around. Actually, let me count how many there was. It was 6 of us. And there were 2 bowls and a blunt in rotation. So
you're barely breathing. You're just inhaling smoke.
Yeah. And I remember, like, I was like, yep, do I really want? Yeah, I do. And because at the time I was also like, what's it going to hurt? You know, I work at a pizza place. My manager's a drug dealer, like, whatever. So I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I remember let's do it. And I don't remember leaving the van. I don't. It was black after that. I do remember afterwards so Ryan, I remember him telling me that you and him found me kind of just wandering in the venue with no real direction. Like the lights were on, but no one was home.
Bro.
And I remember he said that, like, he kind of walked over to me, he grabbed me, and he's like, "Yo, you okay?" And I just kind of gave him the look of like, and he just went, "Oh no." So he drags me over to, like, watch the bands.
Yeah.
And I remember the last minute of Close Your Eyes set. And they played a full, like, hour-long set, I think.
It was at least 45 minutes. Yeah.
I remember hearing the vocalist say, "I need your help with this," and then slamming the mic into someone's face and hearing them scream, "This is our worship."
Oh yeah.
From was it Broken? What's the song called? I wish I could remember it. Song of the Broken or something like that, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Song for the Broken or something.
Song
like
for the Broken,
yeah.
But I remember hearing that, and then the lights went back out. And the next time I came to was when I don't want to say I sobered up, but I was cognizant enough to know, like, the rest of the evening.
Is that when we went to IHOP?
Yeah. I came to as plates were being put in front of me at IHOP. I ordered half the menu. Yeah. And I remember staring at this food going, what happened? And you, Ryan, and Aaron were all just like, oh. Because y'all ordered a normal amount of food. Yeah. And here I am like.
You're just like, everything looks good. Give it to me.
No. So I remember just devouring food. I mean, I think I started splitting it between y'all as well because I just couldn't eat all of it. But, like, I remember doing that. And then I woke up the next morning.
Yep.
And I would say easily that's probably top 3 most like gassed I've ever been in my life.
Easily, yeah.
And
so I guess you don't remember. I drove down the wrong way of the road when we were going to that IHOP. Yeah, because I didn't know where the fuck we were. We were in Greensboro or wherever. And so there's this one road. It was super weird. At least I don't remember all this, so I'm not going to be able to give like massive details. But at one point, I take a turn that was not the right way, and I'm going down the wrong way on the road. And so I had to very quickly pull off. And this is, this is after the show, so it's late. And, at that point, I'm paranoid. I'm like, I don't want to get pulled over with my very high friend in the car and then have them checking me. Because also, we know what like kind of loose Karen Aaron was at the time. I don't know what he had on him at that point either. So, I had a little bit of a panic there because I would have been responsible for all that. Yeah. So it ended up being fine. I drove down maybe, 200 yards the wrong way and then pulled off into a parking lot. But you were really fucked up.
I was.
Yep.
I was. And I was not proud of that moment. I wasn't proud of that moment because I always, especially at that time, I always took myself in a high regard of knowing that I would not allow myself to go past my limit of no return. And I was beyond that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the problem was you did so much in a concentrated amount of time that it just it's kind of like doing a bunch of shots. Like you're fine while you're doing the shots, and then like an hour later you're like, oh fuck, I am belligerent at this point. So
exactly. I will say that at that time, I don't know what it was, man, but at that time, I think it was just I had been so caring for so much in my life, that I just finally just said, fuck it. Because this is at a time, mind you, when it was not accepted. No. You didn't outwardly promote that you did this.
No, I think the only places that had it legal at that point were maybe even I don't think
Colorado did not. No, at that time.
Did. No, I think California had it medically legal.
Yes,
but not recreationally.
Correct.
And it was at that time, especially where we lived, was very. Oh my God, I'm bleeding a lot.
What did you do?
I picked a scab.
Oh, good job. Oh my God.
I won't show that, but
yeah, blur that out.
I just won't cut to this camera when I show that. So.
There you go. You just see my reaction is
it's not bad. It's just it's a lot more blood than I was expecting for just a small little scab. Yeah. It was an eighth of an inch. It was tiny.
That's fair. But no, at the time, no, because this was our early 20s, and I'll be 32 in 2 months.
Yeah. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I was wondering why my hip was hurting so much.
Yeah.
But no, this was 12 years ago basically, and it wasn't because even then I remember. Again, working at a pizza place was probably one of the worst things for me to do because you are susceptible at a pizza place. Everyone, especially at the time, I didn't know. I was very novice and naive at the time to knowing, one, the great properties of it, stress relief, anxiety relief, really any health properties that go with it.
Yeah.
But I was more in the sense of also, I think it was because of who I was with at the time, that her parents were very much like, you better walk the straight and narrow, you're going to die. But I recognize that at that time, it was just taboo to even remotely talk about it, let alone do it, let alone smoke. And the biggest thing that I find looking back is it didn't inhibit me to have any less fun. It wasn't a bad situation. Not that I partake now, but I'm not against anybody who does. I very much am open. If someone's still, if I go to a party and someone's smoking, I'm like, cool, whatever. It's not my ordeal. It's not my vibe. But hey, by all means, because I also recognize that when I do, especially back then, I turn into a lump of fucking wet towels.
Yeah.
And while the anxiety and stress wash away, so does my will to do anything.
Yeah.
So but back then, it was big no.
Yeah. Have you ever done any CBD anything?
I don't think I have. I have done edibles, but not in the sense of where I was absolutely devastated.
Yeah. More
in the sense of just to see how it feels for me.
Yeah.
You know how I am. I know the viewers don't necessarily know that, but I am a very I got called out recently for being a high functioning ADHD individual, and I'm terrified to go find out if that's true or not. But I remember the last time I tried edibles, it wasn't the same feeling. I mellowed out incredibly, but it was almost to the degree of like, hey everyone, thank you for watching this so far. We greatly appreciate you hanging out with us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube or listening on any listening sites. Make sure to go follow us on there as well. And also, if you're watching the video, drop us a like and share it to your friends who might want some lousy advice as well. If you have any at all lousy advice that you want from us or any lousy ideas that you'd like us to cover, drop it in the actual comments down below or send it to us at thelousypodcast@gmail.com. You can also email us there anytime with any ideas you have. Back to the show. This is the best way I can describe my brain. My brain is, there are 10 different lanes in front of me. Each lane has its own set of obstacles. In those obstacles could be day-to-day tasks, work tasks, figuring out content ideas, being a dad, daily problems. I don't know, getting your car oil changed, whatever it may be. Each one has its own set of problems, right?
Yeah.
What I found is I am trying to essentially around these problems through 10 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
With edibles, especially, I want to say it was Delta 8, I think I had, which isn't like non-THC.
Yeah.
With that, I was able to bring everything to one lane.
Yeah.
And I was able to navigate accordingly. With THC, I was able to not only bring everything to one lane, but I forgot that there was anything in my path.
Well, so you had the lane, but then you got in the rocket and just went up.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And honestly, like it was an experience. I understand why people turn to that. I do wish that it was not only medically but recreationally approved everywhere, because there are too many good properties for it to not be.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a whole nother can of worms of like, how it would affect like justice system and all the other stuff.
Absolutely.
And we're not that kind of podcast to be jumping into that. Reason I ask, I had when I was vaping, I had tried a CBD vape.
A cart?
It wasn't a cartridge; it was a juice.
Okay, gotcha.
So it was you were able to put it on an RDA.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And it was pretty nice. Like I tried it a few times. It helped. At that time, I was having like pretty chronic migraines, and it helps with those for sure. Now that I'm really, honestly, since I've stopped vaping, I've noticed just overall my health's gotten a lot better. So I haven't had to use it, but it's still like, I think the CBD side of things is kind of like most of the benefits without hardly any drawbacks to it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any kind of like brain fog or anything. Like it didn't really change my outlook on anything, and it wasn't making me hallucinate or anything else like that. Like it was just all kind of good.
Yeah.
And so I was just curious if you had maybe done any
of that. Nothing like that.
Im-
I never really experimented with my vape side of things.
Yeah.
When I vaped, I mean,
now I think I just want to get like a CBD like edible, or like they have just like a tincture that you can just drop it straight into your mouth or into a drink or something like that.
No, I think that's a great move. Like, like I appreciate, because of course we look back and we had some funny moments in those times, but I do appreciate like that things have changed where it's a lot more of a navigation to it, like because it's less stress. Like, you don't have to worry as much nowadays, whereas before, like you could go to prison for the rest of your life. And no, I think that. Like I agree with you. We're not going to go down the rabbit hole of all the things that would need to change from it by legalizing it. But I think that I look back and I had great times, and I personally, like, if I ever get to the point where I feel that stressed again, I probably would turn to it and be like, "Yep, absolutely."
Yeah.
Like, fun fact, I learned this about Kansas City. I've been traveling back and forth there a lot. Everything's legalized in Missouri.
Nice.
So if I ever decide to go there, I'm like, well, hey, let's try it out.
At least you have the options there to kind of try it. And then I'm sure probably a doctor there would, if you find one that shoots straight and tells you.
Well, that's, and it's funny. So I know this isn't like we're off the rails of this entire episode.
This entire episode is just off the rails.
But that's one thing I will say is I am terrified of medication. I think that's why I'm afraid to go actually like get tested to see.
Pharmaceutical stuff, I don't touch it. Like, you know, like I'll do like ibuprofen and fucking Tylenol, you know, just, I'll do some of that. But like, like the harder stuff. So like hydrocodone, for example.
Terrifying.
I took it once. Remember when I got my wisdom teeth taken out? I took it and so you remember you said I was in the lazy boy staring at the ceiling. I had done that. You remember the recliner that we had at the first apartment?
Yes.
So at this point, Minecraft had just come out on Xbox, and somebody was playing it. It might have been you, might have been Aaron. I don't know, but it might have been one of the 6 other people that were living there. And somebody was playing it, and I was just sitting there on the recliner, and then it kicks in, and I black out. But apparently, I was just sitting there staring at the ceiling, and then you know, like the little sound that it makes when you're picking up an item. I heard that, and then just did that for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't. I don't fuck with narcotics.
No.
I'm trying to think. I remember there was one that scared the shit out of me. It's a step up from morphine. It's starts with a D. It's Dilaudid.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. So I remember I went to the hospital. This was 2018. Yes, 2018. Yes. I tore my abdominal muscle here. Not fun, by the way. No,
I bet.
Don't ever do that. But tore the abdominal muscle, and I've torn muscles before. I've torn my calf muscle before. Does not feel great. Not an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Manageable. You can work with it, but it doesn't feel great. Torn abdominal muscle, much worse because your abs do everything when you move.
There.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember I went to the hospital, and so here's the worst part. I'll break this down real quick. I was at work. I worked at a call center at the time. I was at my desk. I had pulled it. I felt it. I turned to grab something that fell, and when I did, it tore while I'm in this position.
Oh.
And I'm like, I can't move. Like, and the pain shot like into my groin, up into my like neck. Like, it was just awful.
Yeah.
Fast forward a little bit. I end up going to the hospital, and the ER was so busy that I ended up getting stuck in a bed in one of the hallways outside of a bay. Yeah. On the way there, they gave me morphine for the pain. I didn't ask for morphine. They were just like, hey, do you want something for the pain? And I'm thinking, like, give me a high-grade ibuprofen. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, they went, cool. And I went, and the morphine kicks in. We get there, and the pain's just getting worse and worse and worse because nothing's changing. They think it's my gallbladder.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, so they're making me do test after test after test, which is more and more movement that I don't need. And I'm like, no, I've tore my abdominal muscle. I know what this feels like. Like, please just check the abdominal muscle. They're like, no, it's your gallbladder. I'm like, it's not. While I was there, they gave me Dilaudid. Now, let me explain to you how Dilaudid felt. Have you ever had it before?
No. All I've had is, like, you know, whatever they use at dentist's office, and then hydrocodone.
Okay. Dilaudid, I remember, so of course they have the IV, and everything goes through the IV. The moment they put it in, you feel, wherever your IV is at, you feel this warmth. It's almost like you peed in the pool, right? And you feel the warmth around you, because we were all kids once. Heck, I still do it. But it's like you feel this warmth around it, around the area where the needle's in.
Yeah.
Okay? And then it's almost as if Bane just like hit his button and started charging up. You feel it just, and then you blink and things changed around you. I legit felt it. It was just like warmth. And when I felt it was like, whoa. And I laid back and I remember going like this. And there were people in front of me. And I did that. And then there were different people. Now, a blink, people don't move that fast.
No.
No. I was out for an hour and a half.
Oh, shit.
I don't remember any of it.
Good ass shit.
They said that I was cognizant, awake, and answering questions.
Oh, wow.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
You no longer have control at that point. You're on full autopilot, bro.
Yeah.
It was legit one of the scariest things I've ever been on. They hit me with it 2 more times.
Yikes.
2 more times.
That's crazy.
I was in that hospital for 11 hours. I don't remember over half of that trip.
Wow.
But they said I was answering questions like my wife said, she was with me at the time. She legit said that I was like, if she asked me, hey, do you want some ice? Because they wouldn't let me eat. Do you want some ice? And I'd be like, yeah, let's give me some ice. I don't remember that. Don't remember it.
Damn.
She said that when I was on Dilaudid, it was like the pain disappeared.
Yeah.
But so did my brain. Fun fact to finish that whole story. They ended up saying it was my gallbladder, gave me a medication for it. They said, if you still feel crappy in 24 hours, come back. Went home, pain didn't subside, come back the next day, spent more time. They finally get me in a bay. I swear to you, a doctor walked in. This is a nurse practitioner who's helped me day one. Nurse practitioner helped me. She was like, no, it's your gallbladder. Here, you're good. Go. The doctor walks in the next day, looks at me, and he's like, can you take your shirt off? And I was like, not really, no. He goes, can you lift your shirt up? I said, sure. And I pulled my shirt up, and he sees this side bulging.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, and mind you, he's got students with him. Like, this is a doctor who's teaching. They're doing clinicals at this point. He goes, okay, I'm going to touch your abdomen. I'm going to test a couple things here. I want to see how it feels. You let me know where the pain is. So he starts going around, hits it, and I went, and he goes, what'd they say it was? And I said, gallbladder. He goes, somebody get this man some muscle relaxers. He tore his abdominal muscle. And I went, what? And he goes, we're gonna put you on painkillers. What are you comfortable with? And I was like, not narcotics. He goes, high grade ibuprofen it is. I think it was like, I don't know, it was like horse pills.
Yeah.
But he was like, high grade ibuprofen, muscle relaxers. You need to stay off your feet for about a week. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
He was like, it's gonna be painful for about a month because that muscle's gonna repair itself.
Yeah.
He's like, but you'll be fine. I was like, okay. Gone. What? Yeah. Like, and honestly, dude, like ever since then, I don't like going to hospitals.
Yeah. Oh, I've mentioned briefly my disdain for doctors just in general. And it's
I understand why.
Yeah. And honestly, it kind of pertains to this conversation because basically the really short story is there's a shitty doctor so my mom has fibromyalgia and so she's in pain a lot. And so when she would go to the doctor about stuff, he just would prescribe narcotics and just be like, you'll be fine. And so then she ended up getting addicted to them. She's off them now. She's doing great, treating it properly.
Yes.
But I would like to go on the record and saying that guy can go fucking burn in hell. And he has single-handedly ruined my trust for doctors just because of that. So,
yeah. No, I fully understand. I mean, I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I don't do narcotics.
Nope.
I don't do narcotics.
Let's just smoke a bunch of weed.
That's basically it.
I got a plug.
And full circle.
Yeah, and we're back on the rails.
Oh my God. Well, if you, if you smoke, partake, eat, drink, anything.
I inject the
green,
marijuanas personally.
Well, that's. Do you remember those anti-marijuana commercials?
Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah.
Those are great. Look how far we've come as a society.
Yep. Now they're like pro marijuana commercials.
It's like now it's anti-vape commercials.
Yeah, which makes sense, but to a degree,
Here's the thing I'll say about vaping.
Yeah.
I am thankful for vaping.
Same. Yeah.
Got me to stop smoking.
Yeah. I think it's a step.
Yes.
It's not something you do permanently.
It becomes a problem when it's a hobby.
Yeah. It was a hobby for us.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like it went from I remember the first thing you got me. I remember having that set up. It wasn't, I didn't chief it or anything like that. It was, I remember you going, hey, you're going to stop smoking today. I've already done it. You're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm taking you. I'm going to buy your first kit. You give it a try. If you don't like it, then I won't say anything else. The rest was history.
Yeah. Well, the bad part is like I had done that. I stopped smoking started smoking again while vaping.
Yeah.
And then finally, like after a while, I had stopped smoking and was just vaping for like 4 years. And then because I just liked the taste of it and like building the coils and everything.
You know what? Honestly,
it was very fun.
I have to thank you because you not only helped me stop smoking, you helped me stop vaping as well.
Yeah.
Because it was you.
Well, I got you into it.
Well, true.
Yeah. So,
But
my bad.
But it was you who, like, when I was vaping, I remember you had that conversation where you were like, if you want to quit, you just have to do it. You have to throw everything away and step away from it, because if you don't, it's going to be just as easy to go pick up another, disposable, or go pick up more juice or whatever. Like, you have all these things that you could put together, all these different items that you could attach to different, mods and whatnot.
Yep.
And it's never going to end. And I remember because of that, I remember the night I did it, which was December of last year. Like, I know I did it very flashy as such when I was live doing it, but like it was, I needed that moment of just like, hey, everyone, I want you to see this because I need you to keep me.
Yeah.
Like,
and it also, I'm sure, was cathartic to kind of like declare it to the world, like, I'm stopping.
Yes.
Like, like,
oh my God, it felt so good.
Like, I did not do that. I did the opposite of that and didn't tell anybody, and almost got a divorce. So
hey, look, I know I call her a bully. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
Yeah, me too. Again, I'm sorry. I love you.
I remember, like, dude, just that declaration felt amazing.
Yeah.
And I think because of that was what made it so smooth for me to like get off of it. Cause it took me about 4 to 5 weeks to officially get the cravings to subside.
Yeah.
And dude, it was like, I remember that night. That night was actually so terrifying for me because I did it and I did it live. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to play games for the rest of the night. We're going to talk to chat, whatever. And I remember my hand naturally just wanting to gravitate to it.
Oh, it's crazy. The rituals and the habits that you develop around it. And so like, that's why I'd recommended chewing gum.
Yes.
Like, it's just something else to kind of take your mind off of your mind. If that makes any sense.
And I went through a lot of fucking
I still do. Like I chew a lot of gum now, but and like it's partially just because like I enjoy chewing gum, but like it's another mechanical habit, I guess you can say.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And honestly, like I would rather substitute that habit to wean off of something simpler.
Yeah.
I know that sounds bad, but it's true. Like, at the end of the day, if it's easier to wean yourself off of chewing gum than it is to, stop, vaping, do it,
But don't do like Nicorette gum. So so I have a coworker that he decided to do that. He started to stop vaping. And I was like, best recommendation I can do for you is just chew a bunch of gum. Like, just always have like a flavor in your mouth, and just, so that way you've got some sort of mechanical something, because you're going to be reaching for it. You need a distraction.
Yeah.
And so he did that. But he decided, he's like, let me take it up a notch and do Nicorette gum. And he bought the pack, and those packs are not cheap. He bought the pack and he chewed one piece for about 10 minutes, and he was like, fuck this. So yeah, don't do Nicorette gum. Yeah. It's not great. I'm sure for some people it works, but no.
That's just, that's telltale of like how certain things in life seem like they're good, and longevity, they're really not. Like, again, when it comes to greeneries, there's proven science behind the positive effects, no negatives, all positive effects of how it helps you in the long term. Whereas vaping is a very short term, like if you use it to navigate getting off of cigarettes, great short term fix.
Yeah.
Helps you wean off, gets your brain tricked off, and then boom, you're done.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you right now, you made mention this earlier, when you have long term effects of vaping, because we did it for years.
Trying to think.
Consistently.
Yeah, because I was already vaping by the time I moved. I was 24. So probably, for probably 8 years. Because I stopped a week after my 30th birthday. I
started vaping. We were still living together.
Yeah. I think
we were at Kendall. Yeah. So I remember that was 2013. I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. And I vaped all the way until December of last year. I was 31. 10 years.
Yeah.
I vaped.
You would have been 22. 91.
I turned 22.
Oh, that year. Okay.
That year. Yeah. But I was 21 when.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I did it for a full decade. And I will tell you right now, anybody who tells you that there is no long-lasting negative effects of vaping,
they're wrong.
They're wrong.
Yeah.
Because after I quit, I started smelling. Oh my God.
Everything.
Like everything. Yeah. Tastes all started coming back. I mean, like I felt like there was a weight off of my chest.
Yeah, definitely a lot more lung capacity. Like I found it like, because I used to kind of struggle just going upstairs and like I still don't work out, but like, and it wasn't like a muscle thing. Cause like I walk a lot for my job, but like it was just, my lungs were always kind of inundated with whatever the shit was in there. And so, yeah, it was definitely a huge weight off of the lungs.
Yeah. And that's like I said, it goes back to a testament of it's a great short-term fix.
Yeah.
It helps immensely. I think it's absolutely tried and true when getting people to stop smoking cigarettes. I think everyone should try to get off smoking cigarettes because it's a great mitigation to getting yourself off of everything.
Yeah.
But when it becomes a long-term hobby,
It
ain't it, bro.
Yep.
It ain't it. So basically what we're saying is smoke weed every day.
Or meth. Or not. Wait, sorry.
Well, that's our episode.
Yeah, that's a great episode. There's a button. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus. But no, hey, shout out to our new plug. Or your new plug, excuse me.
Yeah, you don't have his number.
Yeah, I don't have his number, but I'm gonna start trying new combinations.
And I didn't mention this. He put like the fucking sunglasses emoji like on there. Yeah. Like, brother. I'm gonna text him after this episode.
Part of me just wants you to send him this episode when it's out. And be like, you became the topic of conversation, buddy. No, but in all seriousness, shout out to everybody who's 420 friendly. We appreciate you. You're amazing. And every state out there, all you governors, go ahead and legalize it because nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah.
That's simple. Let us know in the comments your funny smoking stories.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be a lot in there.
I can't wait. If you'd like to join the Discord and also have conversations about that in there, feel free to hit the link in the description. Of course, like and subscribe because we appreciate everybody who has done so thus far, and share this show with a friend who is 420 friendly as well.
Yep. Or if they're vaping.
Or if they're vaping.
Or if they're smoking, I should say. Like,
valid.
Yeah, send it the last little bit.
Yep. So. But until the next one, there's a button behind me. Click that button. Then there's a video behind me that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. He's waving consistently, and I'm going to ride this as long as I can. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.